everyone, welcome to Pickleball and Beyond. My name's Ryan.
And my name is Vino.
And today we are looking at two paddles from Pakle. We have the Blade X Power and Control. So both of these paddles were phenomenal. We enjoyed using them. So let's hear some of the key differences of these paddles.
And we will put some of the specifications on each of these paddles, but some of the key differences are shape is pretty much the same. That is fully Kevlar surface. The control with 16 millimeter core. This is a hybrid. That's the carbon fiber and Kevlar, and a 13 millimeter, and that's their power. And one thing we noticed, and we'll put some pictures under, when we just take regular pictures of Kevlar and carbon fiber, you have that raw surface to it. This has a little bit of like almost a paint on it when you take the microscopic pictures, and we'll put that down as well. Overall, quality of the paddle, really nice, lovely color, very simple design, but just stands out.
Worth noting on the handle, it comes with this really thin handle. It is nice, but it does come.
It's a nicer handle, nice grip, very soft, everything like that. But yes, you're correct. Like as far as the circumference go, it comes on the thinner side. So people wanting thinner grips, definitely something worth. And you feel the pronounced bezels. So even if you put some, like just a couple of over grips, you'll still kind of feel that bezel. Bevel, sorry. Where would we categorize this?
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out another one of our paddle reviews. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch our videos. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep growing it as well. And make sure to stay till the end of the video to hear about a giveaway of both the control and power versions of these paddles.
They call it control and power.
Yeah, it's funny. We might not call it either. I know, so the control, it was really easy. This is definitely an all-around paddle. This played like to the definition of that. Where with the power, I was just on the fence, but I think it retains more control than I expected, that I gotta still keep it in the all-around.
Yeah,
as much as I want to throw it in
especially it being a 13 millimeter. So we will touch a little bit more on like hand speeds and all of that, but for a 13 millimeter, we were extremely surprised and pleasantly surprised on the control of it. So let's go about talking about the control of this. Let's start with that.
So again, we'll start with the control of their lineup. I mean, 16 millimeter, and you'd expect it to have quite a bit of control, and it does. It really does. It does a fantastic job. At the kitchen line, I mean, feels fantastic. Same as the 13 millimeter. From the kitchen, you get. To me, the biggest difference on the control, right, is you definitely get a noticeably longer dwell on the control, noticeably by like a long shot, where you don't get quite as much of that on the power. And then, again, that ties into preferences and what you like, but I think that might make hitting resets a little easier with the control. So for that reason, I think this is a little more controllable. But what was really impressive about the power, the 13 millimeter, was it had still a lot of control. It was very marginal differences compared to the control paddle we found. Again, I think where it would fall off a little compared to the control is hitting those resets, right? If somebody's smashing the ball at you with that little less dwell. Outside of that, the dinks on both felt spectacular. Third shot drops both feel just fantastic. I mean, really surprised on the control aspect that the power had.
Yes, it played so similar. And as far as numbers go, let's think of Twisted, because that plays more in the control side, right? That comes at about 6.6. This comes at about 6.3. They both played around like the 6.5, like very similar as far as control. I think something that I felt, and this plays more on the power side and the pop side of it, this was so maneuverable at the kitchen. Like, if you had to go between a dink and a power shot, or someone banging at you, this was so quick in your hands. Again, Twisted on this was 108, 1017. So quite a difference as far as that. 117 as far as the swing weight goes. 109, 117. I mean, it felt a much maneuverable paddle. It felt very light in your arms. So let's slowly go back as far as the power goes on.
So again, the biggest thing with the power, the biggest difference between these was the pop factor we noticed. And I think it goes back to that dwell time I touched on earlier, is the power has a good chunk of pop to it, right? So if you're hitting some speed ups, you'll get much more points doing so with that compared to the control, where it definitely sits longer on here. And it's not to say this doesn't fire it off hot for pop. It's like a typical 16 millimeter paddle in terms of pop, where this plays truly like that 13 millimeter where it does fire off pretty hot with minimal effort. But what was cool is when you were doing full ground strokes, is the 13 millimeter still hit harder, certainly. But
this, by a notch.
Again, to even have the 16 millimeter control paddle like even near it is impressive, and it still hit pretty hard. I remember I hit an overhead and I was like, oh for a 16 millimeter, I was like, that hit pretty hard. Again, the 13 you're getting that little extra, but I think we were just surprised they played relatively similar to each other, right? You still got, the biggest difference was that pop. I mean, this had noticeably more pop, and that maneuverability touched.
And I think for me, like, I mean, we keep trying to highlight unknown brands, something different, and sometimes when you look at these smaller brands, they kind of continue with the same specifications. And I think for me, that's where this stood up a bit. It's a bit different. Yes, same shape that lots of people like, but it's the 13 millimeter that you don't find a lot of 13. People go 12, 14, 16. So it was really nice to see something in between. And it had this different characteristic when you kind of played. It had that extra pop. So if you're looking for some extra pop, you know, a little bit better swing, like this. But where I felt this shone a little bit, like you mentioned, because of that dwell time, you got a little bit more spin than, you got more spin on this than this. What would you say as far as spin goes?
The spin was pretty comparable. I mean, it's a different surface, which is the interesting part. But I mean, both of which were, you know, at a pretty high level of spin.
Would you say one had a little bit more spin, not about the same?
It was tough to say. Honestly, couldn't put one.
I felt the dwell on this a little bit better than this. What did you?
I noticed, honestly, I was getting quite a bit when I was using the 13. It might have been even slightly more for myself. So I've seen. Very comparable. I think it depends on the fast versus slow that we talk about.
I think so, yes.
So I think on a slow shot, you might get a little more spin on the control, but the amount of top spin I was getting when I was ripping drives with the 13 millimeter was, I thought.
We were immensely impressed with this adaptability on both of these.
Both are awesome. There's not much more to say. Both are super adaptable. Right out of the box, I was like, I'd play a tournament with these paddles.
So both these paddles, this is the earlier batch. There's a newer batch coming in, which we will get a paddle. They're going to send one so that we can test out. They say the newer batch, especially in the 16, it's a little bit softer. But what's also nice is, since they do have a couple of the older batch, both of these are going at $119. Use our code, you get $15 off.
Off of that even.
I mean, that's a phenomenal price for these paddles. So, I mean, again, we love bringing value paddles. This definitely is right up there for a paddle that delivers and a price.
This competes with Vatic Pro and Huda easily. I mean, these are
solid. Like awesome. The whole paddle is solid. So definitely something to take, you know, advantage of. I know the new batch, I think, goes to 140. It has the discount code as well. So use the discount code, get a good paddle off. We like this so much, we are able to give a giveaway of a 13 and a 16 millimeter. So again, something for you guys to grab up. We have changed up on how we are doing the giveaways. We are announcing it on our website. So the date that it's supposed to be, check us out. There'll be a comment that's pinned, and also a link in our website announcing the winners. So what do they need to do to win one of these?
So just like the other giveaways, you'll have to be an active subscriber to the channel, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment as well. Easy as that.
Yes, and we will announce the winners, and hope you can get your hands on one of these. It's really an awesome paddle. Again, thank you. Please subscribe. That's how we kind of grow and build this channel. Comment. We love hearing from you, and hope to see you in another paddle review.